What's up? Jiu-Jitsu John with another video. Today, we're going to discuss a very important part of your training, and that is do not get stacked. Do not get stacked. Do not get stacked. Do not get stacked. In an armbar from closed guard, it's a very common place to get stacked. You really want an arm. You desperately want the arm. But the person's coming in, they're putting their head really close to your head. What can we do in order to avoid the stack and still get the submission? Well, first things first, we're going to practice a couple mechanics so we can work on the setup of the armbar, and then from the setup of the armbar, think about what happens when the person comes in and stacks you. So, two things we're going to play with, two mechanics of movement that are going to transfer into the technique. First of all is what we call this hip extension. So in this hip extension, what I want to do is I want to bring my knees into my shoulders. My knees come into my shoulders, and then from here, I'm going to extend my hips. Lift my hips up, bring my hips back down, and kick up. Back down, bring knees to shoulders, extend. The next one that we're going to do here is our backward roll over your shoulder, because it starts off in the same way. It starts with my knees coming into my shoulders, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my knees to one side of my face and look at my toes as I come over. One more time. Backward roll over your shoulder. Knees come into your shoulders. Knees come to one side of your face. You're looking at your toes, and you come over the shoulder. So, Taryn, bring it in here, please. You have somebody in your closed guard. You see a bit of space, just a little bit of distance between their humerus and your hip, and you're thinking armbar. Good for you. We're going to get an armbar right now. So, in this situation, of course, there's many ways to set up an armbar, and you might have seen this one before where I'm controlling. I bring my foot in, I lift my hips, turn, and lock this one up. Something else that we can practice, especially because Taryn's in no-gi. Sometimes if you're sweaty, if the person's good, you have to be very swift with it so that you don't telegraph. And in this case, the way we're going to set this up, the one-step armbar. One-step armbar is our favorite. Your favorite too, right, Taryn? Yes. So what's going to happen here is I can hold, I'm just locking onto this hand, and now I'm going to throw my hips up as we did before, and then bring my left leg over his face. Up, and then turn. And that's a one step. It went from being three-step, one step, 2, 3, to now 1. And this is a beautiful setup here. A couple things to think about when we're setting this up. I'm going to throw my hips up so they come underneath here. And as my hips come up, I'm turning them. Okay, it's going to be my right leg that turns. So my toes are facing almost towards you in the camera. I'm going to turn them to face to this side of the room. Then, part 2 of this armbar is this leg needs to shave across this arm, across Taryn's face, and then come down over his head. Right there. Now, third important detail of this armbar is this leg right here. This leg is absolutely critical. Soon there'll be a triangle video coming up to do with active toes and length in your heel. It very much applies in this one as well, because what I have to do is my heel comes out here so that I can keep a right angle at my hip so that Taryn can't bring his head in towards my head. I need this leg to be strong. This leg is like the steering wheel, okay, for this armbar. Because if Taryn starts coming in, I have to keep him right there. My head comes to the ground too. If my head's up and my leg's here, I'm still going to start getting rolled over. So bring your head down and start to lock this one up. Okay? However, maybe sometimes Taryn starts to bring his head in towards my head. Okay? And this is what we call the stack. And this is what we have to avoid. You do not want to put yourself in this position. It's a bad idea to get stacked. So, but you want the armbar. So, as Taryn starts coming in, if you feel yourself you're getting stacked, what you're going to do is you're going to look over your shoulder. You're not looking at Taryn, you're looking over your shoulder. Your hips come forward, and then here is the armbar right there. Oh, we go again. One more time, come in here, set up the armbar. Here we go. This leg, being very, very diligent with it. Okay, and I'm going to avoid that stack. But let's say my head's up and he starts stacking me. Aaron comes in. Okay, now look away from him. My hips come forward, and then here I am. Now I come down, control the end of the stick, and at the end of the stick, sorry guys, hopefully this works, still the microphone just disconnected. At the end of the stick, I'm going to keep my knees together here. Okay, I'm going to grab onto his palm, okay, to avoid the hitchhiker. And then from here, knees together, just get that finish. Everybody, I hope that helps as I fix this microphone. Hope that helps. Do not get stacked. I tell the students here all the time. We had Professor Pedro Sauer come in for the past 3 years. We've had Steve Maxwell come in for the past 3-4 years. And all these men, wise men, they've been training for 40 plus years, both of them. And the thing that they'll tell you first is do not get stacked. If you want a long life in jiu-jitsu, don't get stacked. So you got this armbar, you got the one-step armbar, you've done it all well. Person comes in and stack, you couldn't prevent the stack. Okay, do your best to anticipate it and to roll over your shoulder and to come into that armbar position without hurting yourself.
Snap it before you stack it.
Snap it before you stack it. Right there. Thanks guys, see how that goes for you. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully you're able to keep your spine healthy. You want to be on the mats forever and you're only as old as your spine. So protect your spines, protect your joints and do this one-step armbar. Thank you very much.